But I guess I want to keep going, and I'm going to keep moving this along a little bit, just because this is long already, and I want to just talk a little bit about America and like going back to my class is taco literacy. I think I've told you before about like Mexican culture and Mexican foodways and food systems. And recently there's a new book that came out called American Tacos, and they have a chapter called Korean Tacos. What has been your experience with like Asian fusion food here in America? Because we have like Missimi or Asian Bistro, Wild Kanji, and then we have also people that claim like Korean food, but then all these other foods. Like, what do you think of this Korean fusion food? Like Korean Mexican food?
Korean Mexican.
Is that like, it's like, and like, it's like, Roy Choi, famous Korean chef? 몰라?
I don't know.
He's made like Korean tacos famous, and Korean tacos is literally just bulgogi on a tortilla.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it.
Yes.
Is it authentic Korean food?
Authentic Korean food, that I think what the authentic Korean food is, Korean people is cooking in the kitchen. Korean people.
So if a Korean guy started all these, because this is what happened, a Korean guy started all these Mexican food trucks.
Yep.
And like made Korean burritos. Is that Korean food?
Yes,
or is that
Korean
Mexican
food. That's Mexican food. Has one section is Korean food. We look at that's Mexican food.
Yeah.
But however, there is a bulgogi meat with taco. That's a Korean food.
Yeah.
But the Korean, the Korea, some Korean people doing a Chinese restaurant.
I was gonna ask about that Korean Chinese food.
Chinese food is black sauce, jjajangmyeon.
Oh, jjajangmyeon, not jjajangmyeon.
And soup, spicy jampong means all mixed vegetable with noodles. The round noodles came from China. They made noodles, the round noodle, they're made in China.
Yeah.
So in Korea, some Korean people, doing a Chinese restaurant, which Chinese restaurant means Chinese food. But they are doing Chinese restaurant in Korea. They have to think about the customers. Who is the customer? Who are the customers? Korean people.
Yeah.
That's why they have to kind of modify for Korean people. That's my interpretation.
So that's really interesting. So then I can talk, like we could talk about, it's like you have some friends who own restaurants, like do they have to change some of their cuisine or menus because they're serving to white people here?
Yes, we ask them. We don't want to give really spicy soup to American people. And even if they say, oh, I'm fine, I can eat spicy food, but really we want them, this is spicy, but we make less spicy for American people and give to them.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
Yeah. Yeah.